Sure is petrified wood. Looks just like coal. Looks just like charcoal. And looks just like petrified wood. And the cool stuff about some of these huge rocks that I found, these are actually, I got these in Vermont. I got a bunch of them. And the reason why I got a bunch of them is because there were huge chunks of pyrite in them. And so we broke them apart. Well, actually, I had my kids were like breaking them apart and taking out the pieces of pyrite. And here's a really cool piece. Here's a really cool piece of pyrite. Now, if you know anything about, and this is pyrite, this is also some cool pyrite, or fool's gold. Really beautiful. If you know anything about where to find gold, is you usually find gold in veins, along the veins, usually around quartz veins. And in a lot of these rocks that I found, there would be quartz veins. So of course, it's not picking up on the camera, but there's some all over the place here. I was ultimately looking to see if there was real gold, because sometimes it can be found, you can find real gold next to fool's gold. So this all goes back to my theory that, the mountains that people mine in are just the remnants of giant trees, and through some process, gold was created in the trees. And maybe trees that were submerged in water, maybe the minerals, the way that they're absorbed, turned into gold. Maybe the trees collected the gold. Here's some more. Here's a bowl of Moki marbles that are used in medium work. People who do spiritualism and use crystals and things might order these. And if you look closely, these ones look like almonds to me, but again, maybe almonds or walnuts, but again, that's just my opinion. Here are those carved stones that are in Scotland again, the ones that I showed you before. I think that they were found like this and then somebody did carve them so they look more beautiful or more detailed. But personally, I think these could be, if we're thinking about a giant world with giant trees, I feel like these could possibly be seeds or pollen or even butterfly eggs. And I'm going to show you reasons why I would think that if everything was much, much bigger. Let's start with butterfly eggs and how complicated they look today. This is just on my Pinterest page, and I'm just going to show you some different unique kinds of butterfly eggs and the varieties they come in. These ones are kind of cool, look like They have an eye on them. Really cool. Look at that. Pretty beautiful. Here's some more. Here's some different kinds of coral. Can you imagine if you had some coral that was like this and it was petrified and then rolled around? Any points on it would have been, rubbed off. You'd come out you'd end up with a similar sort of design. Here are some sea urchins. So you can see there are a lot in nature. There are so many different natural designs and patterns. These right here, these are poppy seeds. Can you imagine if these were, if poppy plants were huge back then? I mean, these are all theories, of course, but I think, we have to ask uncomfortable questions. Then I started looking at pollen under a microscope, and again, I was amazed. So, what are these? I think there are a ton of things in nature that these could be. And I don't think it has to do with ancient technology. I just think that these were something that turned into something else. Something organic that turned into something else, turned to stone. Could they be one of these things? What are these called? Graptolite? I think this is the normal way. I think this is their natural way that they are. The natural formation. And then I think just to throw us off, things like this were done to them. So when people, might come across one of these, they realize, oh, this was man-made. They don't want us to connect the dots. Okay, so there you go. That's just my opinion, though. We're all entitled. Also, there's some large mokai or moki stones right here. Cool tattoo, huh? So this is what it looks like now. Now let's imagine 2,000 years ago, Anne Catherine Emmerich talked about Adam's skull, Adam in the Bible, his actual skull, being in Golgotha, which means place of the skull. And what do you see? You see a giant skull, but it has deteriorated a lot. Can you imagine 2,000 years ago? What did it look like? Did it look like an actual face back then?